All right, time for the 15 First Alert weather streaming show. Got a lot to talk about today. We have a fairly potent storm that's making its way toward the state of Wisconsin. This is going to bring initially rain, but that will be followed by snow, and the snow could be heavy at times. It will impact you if you're going to be out and about tonight, especially later tonight, and it will also impact you tomorrow morning. So we have declared first alert days for today into tomorrow, especially for tonight though, and it looks like we will have rain starting up somewhere around 6 p.m. give or take. I would say most spots probably after 6 p.m. Once the rain begins, we will start to see colder air filling in, and that colder air will work toward a transition to snow. But right when that transition occurs, we could see a narrow band of heavy snow developing and moving through, and that could bump the snow totals up fairly quickly. We're also going to see an increase in wind as we move through the night, which will lead to blowing and drifting of snow and potentially reduce visibility depending on where you are. Now, there's going to be much less snow to the east of Madison than there is going to be to the west, and we will take a look at some of those snow totals coming up in a moment. National Weather Service has posted a winter weather advisory in effect for the counties shaded in that purple color, and it has expanded northward. Now, I can't tell you that I have been reading some discussions from the National Weather Service, and there is talk about expanding that winter weather advisory a little farther to the east. So that would mean potentially we're looking at Greene County, Dane County, Columbia County, and maybe Marquette or Green Lake County as well. So these counties are on the borderline and could see the advisory expanded into that area. As of right now, the counties that are included are under that advisory beginning at 8 p.m. and continuing through 6 a.m. tomorrow. So most of this snow is going to be coming through during the nighttime hours. 50 degrees the expected high today. Actually pretty nice out there right now. It's always nice when you have above average temperatures and light wind. A lot of times, and we're going to be, 17 degrees above average on the high today. When you're getting that far above average, a lot of times you will have to have some pretty strong wind to go with the mild temperatures. But at least in the case of today, the wind will remain fairly light. Now, it is going to increase a little bit through the afternoon and into the evening as we get a wave of low pressure moving in from the west, and that low pressure system is going to bring the snowfall in. So currently in Madison, we have 36 degrees, quite a bit of sun out there, and no wind. So reasonably pleasant. We're already above our average high, which is 31 for this time of year. Temperatures across the region range from the lower 30s north, actually at 29 even in Viroqua, to as warm as 41 in Janesville. It is a little warmer in Milwaukee, though, at 46 with very little wind, very little wind chill. And wind chill is not going to be a big issue for us today, but tonight it will become a little more of a player as wind chills drop into the 20s and potentially even the teens by tomorrow morning. So let's step through it. 4 p.m., we're still good. We are going to get an increase in clouds, and by 4 p.m., we're mostly cloudy across southern Wisconsin, but you can see our area of snow off to the west of here and the transition zone right here, and just on the other side of the transition, we get that little bullseye of moderate to heavy snow, and this area of snow is going to be making its way in this direction as low pressure, which is located right here, you can just see the top edge of that low, that will be moving toward us in time. So let's put it in motion again. Forecast calling for the increase in clouds. We'll get into a chance of rain late this afternoon. I think most of the rain will hold off until this evening. Now we're 11 p.m. and we're mainly going to have rain in Madison through that time period, but just behind it we have our snow moving in, and that is going to make its way eastward across the region. So snow begins Grant County, Crawford County, probably around 9 p.m. Models are differing a little bit on the timing, and that's what's making it so difficult to determine the forecast snow totals, because if this area gets in a little earlier, then we're going to have more snow. If it takes a little longer, then we will have a little bit less snow. And that timing is going to mainly be determined by how this guy moves, this wave of low pressure, which will head towards Chicago. And if it goes even a little bit farther to the north, we're going to have more rain. A little bit farther to the south, and we're going to have a lot more snow. And it really doesn't take much. If we see that jog even 30 miles farther to the south, that is going to increase our snow totals significantly. And I'll show you the forecast for those snow totals coming up in a moment. But you can see that band moving through. 7 a.m. tomorrow, most of the heavier snow, this little band right in the transition zone, will be east of Madison. But we'll still have light snow showers and flurries. This is making it look like there'll be continuous light snow. I think it'll be broken, and we'll have just occasional light snow and flurries in the morning with, in my opinion, very little accumulation after 7. I'm not saying 0, but probably well under a ½ inch of accumulation after 7 a.m. All right, so let's roll through it. And as we get through the day, things will dry out. This is 7 p.m. Friday. The low now heading well off to the east over the eastern Great Lakes, and the rain and snow move in that direction. There'll be another disturbance over here. This one is probably not going to impact us much. It'll move by to the south of here from the looks of things and weaken as it does. So this is Saturday morning, 10 a.m. I'm going to go with partly cloudy skies. We'll probably have a few more clouds around in the morning than what we will see in the afternoon. All right, let's get to the good stuff, snow totals. And as we roll through time, this is one model's interpretation of how much snow we're going to get. And this one is saying, this is the Euro model, by the way. And you can see totals back to the west of here, 6.7, 6.5, a 5.7 here, 6.3 for Camp Douglas. Quite a bit of snow in that direction. Is that possible? Yes. Is it likely? Well, I would say getting more than 6 inches is unlikely. Again, this is just one model's interpretation of how much snow we're going to get. I'm going to break out of this for a moment. I wanted to show you one more slide that I didn't have loaded in, but I will call that slide up anyway. It's going to take a moment. This is the one that will show the difference in what the models are calling for. Where is it? I'm looking, and I will find it. I know generally where it is. All right, there it is. So this is the one that I'm talking about. And these are the different models' interpretations of how much snow we are going to get. Now, we have 6 models loaded into this graphic. The Euro is the highest total that we're going to see, and that's the one that I just showed you. So it is on the higher end, and you can see that's that green line. The high-res model, high-res rapid refresh, that's that HRRR. It doesn't have a total reported, but you can see the line. The only reason it's not showing a total is because this is a high-resolution model, and it doesn't go out until Saturday. So what you're seeing are the totals through 1 p.m. Saturday. The high-res model, high-res rapid refresh, is almost exactly the same as the GFS and the IBM. You can see it right along that line, that red, yellow, white line all together. They're right around 3.3 inches, each of those models. The NAM, North American model, 1.8, and the GEM model is even lower than that, 1.4. I am kind of going in between this, although, you know, some people could make the argument it's kind of an all or nothing. Either you're going to get 1.5 or you're going to get 3.5. you're not going to end up with 2. I am still looking probably 2.5 to upper 2s, 2.8, 2.9. I'm looking in that range, and the reason for it is I think we are going to have rain extending deep into the evening, and I also think we'll probably have a little melting of snow initially. So I think it's definitely going to look more like 2.5 inches than 3.5, but we'll see how things go once this all shakes out overnight tonight. But you know, it's difficult when you have some models forecasting 1.5 inches of snow and others forecasting 5 inches of snow. So you have to kind of analyze what you think is going to happen, and you kind of use your experience on what you've seen in the past. But I will tell you that as a meteorologist, one of the more difficult snow situations to forecast is a transition from rain to snow. And the reason for that is the timing is everything, because even a half an hour earlier with the transition to snow will bring that heavier band in a half an hour earlier, and it leads to more accumulation. So whenever you have rain, obviously that is going to cut back on your totals. And if we go back to that graphic, and again, remember Euro 5 inches of snow is what's forecast in Madison through 1 p.m. And we'll take a look at that one. Actually, why don't I do this? Hang on just a second here. And I am going to go to the IBM model, which in this case is forecasting 3.3 inches. So that model is located right here. So this is the IBM model, and as we move through time, this is taking us through, well, let's take it through Saturday midnight. This is Saturday morning at midnight. So here it is. And you can see the forecast totals much higher off to the west, even with this model, but only 2.5 in Madison, 2.5 to 3. And that's what I'm thinking. I still think the 6+ totals off to the west of here are probably a little bit high, but you can pick your city and pick your snow total. Now we're going to go to that other model that we were showing, the Euro model, and that's the one that has considerably higher totals coming in, and we'll get to that one in just a moment here. I'm kind of scrolling through things, so it's a little more difficult here. I don't have them set, so here we go. And this model indicating higher snow off to the west of here as well. And then we roll, that's the IBM model again. So, you know, again, the bottom line is the models are differing on how much snow they want to put into the area. This one, of course, is not going to put any numbers in. I'm just trying to roll through all the different models that are loaded into our computer, and you know, again, we're looking at higher totals off to the east of here. So that's what we're dealing with. If you're in Iowa County or Lafayette County or Grant or even parts of Sauk County, you're looking at higher snow totals, Crawford County, than we are around here, and it's definitely going to be a problem. 4, 5, even locally 6 inches of accumulation is going to be a much bigger problem than the lower totals are going to be. So just keep that in mind, and I'll put those totals up for you once again, and you can take a look at what we are expecting across the region. So here are those snow totals, and 4, 5, 6 inches off to the west. I think 6-inch totals will be local. We're looking 2.5 to 3 in Madison, and then those lower totals are forecast to the east of here, and all of this, or at least most of it, taking place during the nighttime hours. Once we get through the snow, though, we're looking at better weather, at least quieter weather into the weekend. 32 the high Saturday, 25 for the high temperature on Sunday, and then we're up near 40 degrees by the time Tuesday and Wednesday roll around. So that's your forecast locally. We're going to take a closer look at the weekend forecast as well as the travel forecast coming up in just 1 minute. All right, we are back and we're going to take a look at the travel forecast for you. You'll be able to see that storm making its way in and the snow out over Nebraska now. But as we move through time, that band of heavy snow setting up over Iowa. This is 7 p.m., then shifting into Wisconsin overnight and early tomorrow morning before heading off to the east. It will lead to some travel problems throughout southern Wisconsin. Rain moving onshore in the Pacific Northwest from San Francisco northward toward Seattle. In the higher elevations, more snow. A little bit of a reprieve from the snow in the Lake Tahoe area, but I would expect eventually later this week and into the weekend a little more snow making its way in there. Phoenix, some minor delays. Other than that, pretty quiet across the nation right now. The forecast for the weekend, after a little bit of snow Friday morning around here, it looks pretty quiet after that with some sunshine. Cooler temperatures, mid-20s to low 30s for high temperatures for much of southern Wisconsin through the weekend. To the north of here, 35 for Green Bay on Friday, 33 Saturday, 29 Sunday. Similar temperatures across the region. And then to the northwest, highs on Sunday in Hayward only 19. Duluth and the Twin Cities 20. Eau Claire will have a 22. A little bit milder temperatures, but a lot cooler than what we have had around here lately to the south. Highs in the 30s Friday, Saturday, and then in the 20s for the most part on Sunday. So that's your 15 First Alert streaming show. Snow on the way tonight. Take it easy if you are going to be out and about, especially after midnight. Conditions will be deteriorating. Hopefully we'll get some improvement toward daybreak tomorrow for your morning commute. But at this point, I would plan on at least a little bit of extra time. We will be back again later today. Brian's going to be in with another streaming show, and I will be back tomorrow morning right around 10. Until then, have a great day.